Hello Share Bears. Today's video is a new project and I have to apologize to Zelma because I should have got this up way before now. This is a project she started and it's called Project Book Smart, and I said I would take part in it, and then I got the flu and yeah, stomach flu and filming do not combine. So here's how this project works. She chose 5, so I've chosen 5. She has a list of 100 different categories, and I used her list. I will put her list in my description box. You choose 5 books or 5 categories and choose a book to go with that category. So I actually already picked my books. I used random generator to pick the number and came up with my books, and I've already started reading my books. So I will leave Zelma's video in the description box down below. I love Zelma. I love the fact that she came up with this because it's nothing beauty related, because right now I have so many videos to film for updates on beauty projects. So let's get right into it. The first number I chose was number 89, and it was a play. So I chose Harry Potter's The Cursed Child. I have not read this yet. I've had it forever, so I think it's about time I read it. If you don't know, it is wrote in play form. So I'm looking forward to actually reading this, even though I know that it has gotten bad reviews. But I'm not as picky as some people. Next was number 16, a book you were supposed to read in school but didn't. Okay, so I read every book I was supposed to read in school, and I asked my sister, even because she's the book guru, if there was ever a book she didn't have to read. Even if we were bored to death by the books, we still read them because we had to. It was part of our schooling. So I went through my bookshelf and I decided I would read a book that I know a lot of people would have had to read, and my sister had to read it in school, but I never had to read it in school. And it's a book that I actually want to read. So it is Lord of the Flies by William Golding. So I'm sorry, Zelma, I had to take a little liberty with that category, but what can I say? I guess I was a good student and read all my books. The next one was number 1, and it was a book you haven't read, and you will notice that there is a card sticking out of this book because I have not read this book. And I started to read this book because I picked these before I filmed. So I did start reading it because otherwise I'm a month out on the project. So this is The Woman in Cabin 10 by Ruth Ware. I got this for Christmas from my son, so I'm actually looking very forward to reading this, and I have heard some stuff about this book, but not enough to give spoilers because I've been very intrigued, and I am halfway through this book, but this will be an easy book. So that's The Woman in Cabin 10 by Ruth Ware, and I'd really like to read more of her stuff. I'm just saying, just halfway through the book and I'm already deciding that. My 4th book was a science fiction book. So I have chosen a book that I haven't read. I've read part of this book because it's two books in one, and it's by George Orwell, and I'm choosing to read 1984, which I have never read. I think I've seen part of the movie, but again, if you looked at my bookshelf, you would think this woman is crazy. She has all these horror books or thrillers, and yeah, it was hard to choose a science fiction book, but this one I actually picked up last year, so I'm going to read that one. And my last book, my fifth book, is a book by a female author, and I chose one by V.C. Andrews. This is the second book in the Christopher Diaries series, and it's about flowers in the attic, but it's told through a diary and a relative or a distant relative that's reading the diary of Christopher, who was one of the children that was locked in the attic. So this is Echoes of Dollinger's, and I'm looking forward to reading this. I read the first book easy. This should be no problem. This is what I would call my fluff book. And yeah, so that's everything. I will tell you that this is a roulette style, so as you read, when you replace it, there's 100 categories, starting with 5, and it's a year-long project. I want to thank Zelma for inviting anybody who wanted to join this. I'm so excited to be doing this project. So that's everything. Much love, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye for now.